Good evening, Francis, and good evening to the listeners at home, and thanks for the opportunity. So this desk is a really exciting intervention by Danone. I don't know if most of our viewers know, but the ECD centers or the early childhood development centers in South Africa are financially strained. They are under-resourced. And the situation has gotten worse, obviously, with the COVID regulations, where you need to effect social distancing inside the classroom. And as Danone, we thought, let's come in and help to alleviate the plight of these ECD centers. And let's do this in a smart way by taking recycled plastics and turn that into this wonderful single unit desk that, already there is excitement in all these schools where we have donated them, and obviously assisting not only with the resource shortage, but also with the COVID management within the classroom. We're quite excited.
How many yogurt cups go into a desk?
Sure. For instance, for our 1 kg tubs, we're talking over 900 of them that we use into one desk, and the 6 by 100, we're talking about 245 of them. And so we are quite excited about this campaign. We're solving a social problem through sustainability, protecting the planet, as it were.
Yeah, sure. I mean, this is so important. You don't want that plastic in refill sites. It does seem like a drop in the ocean, though, starting with 7 schools. Like you said, there's a huge need because these ECD centers just don't have the money, and then to go and buy masks and sanitizer and try and keep little kids away from each other, it's very difficult.
Absolutely, and thanks for this question. I mean, we have to start somewhere, and obviously it's not big enough. Yeah, it's small, but we have to start somewhere. And Danone is taking an initiative here, is raising their hand and making a call to action to industry players, to suppliers, producers, whoever has got plastic in their supply chain, and the community to join us in this effort of not only solving a need in our ECDC schools, which is quite acute, but also to help divert the plastic waste to go to landfill. Yeah. As you know, Francis, most of the plastic in this country ends up in landfill, and it ends up contaminating the underground water system. Some of it ends up contaminating the aquatic life at sea and in the river system. So it's quite a smart way, really, of solving a social problem. So we are here to make a call to action. The more, the merry. Imagine Danone singularly, by this effort, will divert about 19 tons of plastic away from landfill. Imagine if there's many of us, hundreds of industry players that could join us. And we're quite excited already about the fact that there is a good response since we've made this call and started this campaign this year from a number of industry players. So that's a great question. It is starting small, but we are calling for scalability, and we believe when we have many hands, scalability will be possible. And we can help alleviate the plight of our ECDC centers, as it were.
Yeah, and I think it's a great initiative. ECD centers have been really struggling, and the desks look good. So you're saying you'll actually help other people who want to get involved to make the same desks. You'll share the knowledge and give them what's required.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for instance, let me take this opportunity. On the 18th of March, Francis, as we all know, 18th of March globally is regarded as an International Day for Recycling. Danone will be hosting a webinar where we'll be inviting industry players, inviting the government, the public sector, as it were, and the communities to come and share knowledge and share best practices and figure it out as to how we can scale this up. We're quite excited about what this can do to the early childhood development centers, as well as reducing the impact of plastic on our environment. Yeah. So watch this space. There'll be a lot of communication around this. On the 18th of March, we'll be hosting an exciting webinar to really think together about how we can move this forward for scalability.
I have to ask if the desks are child friendly. We know that most young children actually don't want to even be sitting at a desk. Did you think about that?
Absolutely, great question. So right at the beginning, when we, designed this desk, because it's not just converting plastic into desk, you must consider all the dimensions of the desk, exactly to your point, for the learners that will be using them. So we made use of the services of occupational health practices who came, assessed, and helped us design the right dimensions for the learners in the early childhood development center. So that has been taken care of. It's quite safe.
Finally, let's talk about the big issue that you raised. People are seriously concerned about plastic landing up in the oceans, even affecting their own water systems. What is Danone doing? How are things changing in this country in terms of those landfills, in terms of the recycling cycle, as it were?
So, Danone, for instance, has been part of the national campaign, also signed up to the big campaign that the government rolled out already in 2019 when that act was promulgated in South Africa. We're also starting with campaigns like this to say we can't just be dependent on government. As private sector, let's take a lead, let's partner with others, let's collaborate, because it's only through partnership and collaboration that we can really eat away this elephant. So what Danone is doing is also internally reviewing the methods at which we are packaging our product. There's a reality that we must all face, that plastic will remain with us for some time. In fact, plastic has got good use, right? It protects product quality. It also maintains food safety of our product, which is good for our consumers when they buy and consume our products. But we have to be responsible in a manner in which we dispose plastics. Landfill is a no-go. And Danone globally, for instance, has made an undertaking that by the year 2030, we should be away from landfill altogether. So this is, again, to concretize that overarching objective of Danone globally and bringing it in South Africa through partnership, through collaboration, and make sure that we do not use landfills in the future. We have to bequeath to the next generation a sustainable environment. So this is our small part that we are playing as Danone to assist in this problem.
All right, well, thank you for that explanation, and hopefully all young kids will soon have access to these sort of desks if the ECD centres can use them. Thank you very much. That was Operations Director at Danone, Nkantsu.